Now, of course, after really stitching this whole entire area, I did see another smaller bass up this way, more of an edge type of a fish. I am going to try to actually just take a Senko and just fish this in the traditional manner. Try to hit that drop off and shake this bait a little bit. You know, it's kind of like hunting and pecking. I've tried probably, this is my, I think, fourth. Let me see. 1, 2. This is my fourth worm. Sometimes that fourth worm color or style gets you that fish. It's not like I don't know how many. Probably everybody I've ever fished with that fish plastic worm. If they didn't get bit on that style, that rig, let's say they were fishing a shaky head. If they threw that shaky head out there and they didn't get anything, those fish weren't hitting worms. And that's just really not the case. The sun's been in and out. It was brighter, so that obviously I was working a slower stitching worm, scuppernong color, which is a real natural type of a bait. But something like this, I can just keep that bait in its place, do its little shakes, give it some more movement than I would be if I was stitching, which is just dragging it on the bottom. Give this some hops. But I have seen some active bass. I've seen some active bluegill. Things are definitely picking up. Like I said, we're probably a solid 2 weeks behind where we would normally be in terms of spawning relations to these fish. I've been targeting that drop off out there. There's a series of them, and I'm hoping this will pay off. Normally I throw these on a 7.5 foot rod, so I'm kind of having to adjust my casting style a little bit. But like right there, you can tell there's that drop off. And again, just like I talked about on the first Wacky Rig video, I'm not spending a lot of time in that one area with it. I'm really keying in on that drop off. What the stitching does is you're casting that split shot rig, and again, let's hit this target. Try to hit a little deeper one, maybe. Doesn't cast bad at all. 2-piece rod, again, Lew's American Hero, just an IM6, kind of an economy rod, entry level to fish with for bass, knocking around the shoreline, what have you. What I'm doing is I'm just shaking that and really keying in on that drop off. Now what the stitching's going to do is it's going to cast slightly away from that target area, so you're hitting another area just off the main piece of structure. And that's, I think, the real key with the stitching technique that I never mentioned before is you're hitting those zones just off of where these fish, where they see a lot of activity, where they see a lot of pressure. This drop off, I don't usually fish here, but these particular drop offs, earlier on I mentioned that gets a lot of pressure. I just saw someone walking down the shore. They had a jig and a pig. That jig and pig fisherman, this may be his #1 location for hitting these pockets. And again, you talk about that variable, that fishing pressure. But I can't say enough about these Lew's, these IM6 rods. I like the one piece I have. It's going to get you more accuracy. But for a 2-piecer, if you're looking for performance, something that's going to break down in terms of feel, a lot of 6.5-inch rods don't cast or feel this good. This is very, very nice. This is probably the best 2-piece rod I've ever fished. I definitely like like I said, the Lew's IM6 a little better than the lightning rod. The lightning rod is the old standard. And of course, the one thing about stitching is when you've got shifting winds, it doesn't necessarily get that bait exactly on target where you want it every single time. It has a tendency to kind of get off center. So there's a real time and a place for all these worm applications. And activity level is really going to play a huge factor in what these fish are going to do. Obviously, we know a month from now, if I was fishing any wacky worm, any bait, Wacky Rig, no weight, out of all the colors I know, I would catch at least one bass. It may be a 12-incher, it's probably going to be bigger. But one of your key variables that you're going to look for is to note these areas for the future. So that one went down real good. That one went down real nice. That's a little deeper area. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it sit. This is kind of a wacky worm presentation for pressure fish. I'm just going to barely move it. Let it kind of stand there. If you're fishing these shallower type of drop-offs and you hit one, you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. You can. And you can catch a big bass off those areas, but these more edge type areas like that, they tend to hold smaller fish, okay? Those smaller fish are not as keen on presentation. They'll hit something like this bouncing around. A big bass, they barely want that thing moved. And obviously, I'm going to be speeding this presentation up quite a bit when the activity levels get a little bit higher. But for now, this is what we're kind of working with so far. I wish I had the 7-foot rod. I could get some drop-offs farther off. I've kind of fished this area out here, but I was getting the shade, so I haven't moved. So for the most part, that's how you do a wacky worm presentation. When you get deeper, or you can do the flip side. You can really shake them. Usually I don't start doing that until maybe middle of June when there's more consistency. But there's a lot of nuances to worm fishing. Obviously, the stitching in a Senko is a different kind of a combination than anybody else that's running them. But I mean, this traditional way to fish Senkos is still, whether you're fishing a lake, line memory, a lake, a pond, a river, you name it. This wacky worm fishing, I'm still rigging them through the nose. This wacky rig fishing is still an absolute no-brainer way to fish. But that's what you do. I look for the drop-offs, and if they're subtle, I work them in quick. Like I said, that's I think a real key to big bass fishing that a lot of media I haven't really seen that touched upon. If it's a shallow bass, in the Midwest, if it's going to be a 12 to 16 incher, that fish is not going to be that keen on presentation. Your bigger bass, your 18 plus, those older fish, they're very presentation conscious. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Take care, everybody.